fear-mongering is about the things that are not actually mortal threats, and then there's ignoring the things that are mortal threats. You know, COVID isn't real and climate change isn't real. I would argue that, to me anyway, those things are a little bit scarier or have been scarier at various points in the past couple of years.
Right. Talking about crime, about people dying by the thousands, is now immoral?
It's like watching CNN offer commentary on CNN. I mean, it's ridiculous. Barring the fact that it is CNN and literally nobody is watching and the viewership is abysmal and almost negligible. The commentary here is awful enough that we should talk about it because it really speaks to what I've been talking about for the last 3 years, especially to Black America. You know, liberals show up with their signs. To them, this is an extracurricular activity. Black Lives Matter. Defund the police. Let's get rid of everything in these inner cities and let's just let criminals run free. And I always say to Black America, you're going to be the one left picking up the pieces. It's going to be your neighborhoods that are destroyed. It's going to be your children that cannot walk to school without fear that there's going to be a gang member on the corner that may shoot them. It's going to be your babies that are sitting in cars and may be shot by a stray bullet. We have seen this story over and over and over again. Where are the liberals? Where they're saying, oh, it's not as big of a deal, 25% more. Who cares at all if it's 25% more crime? We're way more focused on climate change. I mean, does that not reek of elitism? Do you really think, and I really do challenge these people, to go door to door on the south end of Chicago and knock on people's door and explain to them that climate change is more of a threat. Climate change, Tucker, by the way, depending on what generation you're from, you know how that always pans out. My generation, it was global warming. The ice caps were going to melt. That didn't happen. Generation before, it was global cooling. They told everybody it's going to get so cold that everything's going to freeze over. That didn't happen. You had the generation that thought that there was going to be acid rain. You know, these IPCC models, they keep predicting that never happened. Let's focus on that and not the individuals that are quite literally being slaughtered in the streets, everyday Americans, and they are suffering because of the very policies of the people that we're looking at on this panel.
Well, that's totally right. And what's interesting is these are people who see everything through a partisan lens. So I've often heard liberals say, well, Corona is killing mostly right-wing Republicans, so that's fine. This violence surge is overwhelmingly killing the Democratic base. And speaking for myself, that's not fine. I don't care who they vote for. They're Americans. They're dying. And you would think that the people representing their party would maybe care more than I do, but they care much less. It's so weird.
It is weird, and that's why when you're looking at the polls, you're seeing that you're not the only one that's paying attention. You saw this in the president's press conference. They asked Biden flat out, I'm speaking to Black Americans on the ground. They're turning away from you. The polls are showing that Black Americans are looking in the street. They're seeing these clinics. You can go shoot dope on the streets of New York City and come out. Good luck if your kid's walking by and this guy's high on methamphetamine and opioid. Doesn't matter, because the Democrats are trying to make these cities more livable for the drug dealers and the criminals, not the people that are actually paying taxes and trying to make a decent living. So yes, they are going to suffer at the polls, and there's no way that they can move the goalposts that is going to change that fact come November.
Yeah, you got to be on the side of decent people who are trying hard, you know, no matter who they vote for. And these people are not on the side of decent people who are trying hard. They're on the side of deviance and the violent and totally antisocial elements. It's really bad.